shared notes. Well, one of the key things it says the Google business page, and we're going to go give you the listing. But what makes the Google business page relevant is that what it does, it lists you as a business in Google, which puts you in the Google directory, which puts you in a major search engine. And what they do, they will verify. So you will tell them, this is my business at this address, phone number, contact, hours open. And if you want to, you can put up images, your website, contact, and it's like a great overview of your business, you know, what it's about, your products, services, and as it's a great overview. But they are going to send out a card for you to verify. So you look for that in the mail, and you go back to the computer and enter in the verification information, and now you become verified. And verified means that Google sent you something in the mail, and someone took that information in the mail and verified it, so that that is an address that, you know, someone is actually at receiving mail for that business, and that is how they verify you. So you want a business page and you want it to be verified. So set up your business page, allow them to send your card out, and make sure you take the time to verify your business. So and that gets you started. And with that, it gets you the basis of a local search marketing. And one of the key things that we're going to be talking about, local search marketing. People come into an area, they may be new to it or a different side of town, but they may still want something to eat. Like, I want something to eat. What are some pizza places? What are some black-owned businesses? Or I'm, you know, visiting. Is there anybody that do black hair in this area? If I put in black hair and I put in this address and look out 5 miles from where I am, what's going to come up? You want to be able to come up in such searches. And that is the value of the local search marketing. And you start that off with your Google business page. And you make sure that you have one of these business pages over in Bing and Yahoo. Make sure you have your business listed in these major search engines, so people can begin to find you on their local search. There are a lot of apps that people can use to find things locally. Long as you have yourself listed, you automatically come up in these databases. It doesn't cost anything, it's free. So that's the key thing that you want to do. Here you can list specials, different things. And then when one of the things we're going to be talking about is local marketing, local search marketing. Part of that also is when at your location, there are certain websites you can put yourself on. When people say, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, you want to make sure that you're there. So you want to say, hey, store's open, and people say, oh, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm at this place. So when they do that, if you come in and you have a sign-in store, if you come in from this time to this time and you state and you put out on social media that you here, that you are here, and you pop up and we see your information, we'll give you 5% off. We'll give you 10% off. These are just different things that you can do in order to use local search marketing. And what's real important is that this is all mobile driven. To use mobile marketing to bring in foot traffic, to connect with people on the internet, and to use these localized tools. These are internet tools, but they're all local based. They're based on your location, and they're great for driving foot traffic and sales. So what do? You announce these specials in the store. Anybody on Square, it's not Square Marketing, but it's you can do it on Facebook. There are several different entities at which you can do. And I found out that was my backlog, because Shimon and I were on the telephone and I was hearing myself through the phone. So we resolved that problem. So there are several websites where you can just say where you are, from Twitter to Facebook. There are special ones. I can't get them all now, but there are special websites that you just specifically say where we are. Instagram, you want to be able to do it, but these where people check in. You're looking for check-in sites. And we have Mr. Lazone Grays up here, and he's definitely another excellent person for local businesses. So we're going to bring him on in a moment. But what you want to do is check in, and you want to provide incentives for people who check in at your location. And all of these things are mobile driven. So people are taking their phones and their pads and they're checking in. They're saying that I'm here. If say if you do this between 3 and 6 o'clock and you blast it out, you blast it on Twitter, blast it on Instagram. When you use Instagram, and another tool I want you to use is Vine, and you add these to your notes, because right now since I'm speaking, I'm not going to take notes, but anybody on a shared note, you come in on a shared notes, you get to share it. Please add your information as it's different information. But what you want to do, you give people from 3 to 6 o'clock, if you check in and you share it with your friends, check in and share it, then we will give you a 10% discount, and you get either it could be general 10% discount, it could be 10% discount on certain things, certain areas, whatever. But you're encouraging sales, especially of the people that are already in the store right there, and then of people who may be in the area, people who are on looking and may now come down, because you're giving them enough time between 3 and 6. If they're getting off of work, they may come down there. You may want to do a 4 to 7, depending on your location hours. But people have a chance to look, chance to stop by, and to trigger people to actually buy who may be in your store just looking. And another great statistic, people have found that even though people actually go into stores, but then they pull out their phone to look for deals. So they're in your store, then they may be doing comparative shopping or seeing, because a lot of stores like Michael, I've done it. I go into Michael, I pull up my phone and find out if I have any specials or coupons before I go check out to see if I can save additional money. So people are doing that. They're in your location, they're pulling out their phones looking for specials. So when you pop up with these things, and this thing pops up over their social media on their phone, then they're going to come up and they're going to take advantage of these specials. You also have an opportunity, in order to build your list. Now you want to be at your email list, and you want to build your mobile contact list. And your email list should also have, of course, you want to request mobile phone numbers, cell phones, and so that you can connect with people over your mobile devices. So what you may, at your point of sale, this I feel is the best place when people are standing in line at the point of sale. Place a sign, nice and visible, and let me see if I have the sign around. Okay, here. This is not what it specifically what it says, but as you can see, and I'll bring myself up. But this is a point of sale display. So you have a point of sale display, and you put this on the counter, nice and pretty, whatever you want. But here you state, sign up for our email list, receive specials and discounts. Then text this certain thing, text certain code or whatnot, and receive a certain amount of discount or something free or something special on your next visit. You've done a couple things. While they're up there waiting to check out, they can sign up for the email list, make sure they confirm, and then they can get a coupon for the next time that they come back. This is something they can do during checkout. Or what they may do, which I sometimes do at the supermarket. A couple of us are checking out together. Someone gets a great coupon for so much money off the next purchase, and we hand it to the next person when we go more than one person in line, and then that person immediately takes advantage of that coupon. But what that has done is excited everyone. So, and believe it, everyone comes back, and we may definitely share the news. how you can get a great deal at the market or at whatever store or location that you're at. So you definitely want to take advantage of your point of sales. That is your counter. It's great to have things up there, but everyone should have some form of messaging at your counter, at your point of sale. There's some form of messaging that you should have. And you need to take advantage of these people's mobile devices, and you want to use, I would say, use that space and time to grow your email list. You have an opportunity if you want to tear off, where people can tear off. You can have a box that they enter their things in every week, every day. Someone can win a prize, win something free. You can even have you can collaborate with other businesses that would donate something that people could win once a day, once a week, however you choose to do it. But it's based off, again, those people filling out their information and so that they can join the email list. This is one of your key strategies that you want to use. Take advantage of your space. Now I am going to bring on Mr. Lazone Gray, and he will, sorry, I've had to put my sign back up. I apologize. I know we should be moving around. But I want to have Mr. Lazone Gray talk to us a little bit about any of his recommendation for local businesses. Lazone, how are you, sir?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing good, great, sir.
Good, good.
Great. So what are any recommendations that you would recommend for brick and mortar businesses about simple ways that they can leverage technology to their advantage to grow their business?
Well, of course, there's the regular ways of, as far as utilizing technology, we're focusing a lot on video production, strategic video production, editing, and social media marketing of those businesses. Now the technology you don't have to spend $5,000 and $6,000 for chip cameras. There's some better cameras on the market. Learn how to do some storyboarding. Video within itself is proven to increase conversion rates now. Keeps people on your website longer. Can get you to get more donors and those existing donors that you have to give. So I think one of the things that we looking at is to really focusing on how to tap into video production and marketing for small businesses that don't have big budgets. They don't have to go out and get a big production team, but they do definitely want to find an individual or small business that can do it right. I think that that's probably one of the effective ways, and then you can do all of these strategies that you're talking about, how to make sure you have the right captions, using the annotated in YouTube, really using some of these more simple tools to market and promote yourself. And if we are supporting each other, I see your video, I share it on my Facebook pages, other places, have people within your network get that viral thing going. So that's one of the ideas that I think right now is probably we should really be looking at and not sleep the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, right. Well, you're definitely correct, Lazone. Video is very key. And again, people are using videos over their phones and on their pads. So one of the key places, Instagram definitely for our short videos. But please don't sleep Vine. Vine is also a great place. It's not known as much in our community. We don't use it as much, but it's very hot. And what it is, what you're recommended to do is a series of 10-second videos. So these 10-second videos, but they need to tell a story. So some key things are, if you're not an expert, And even if you don't have you may not have the expert camera, and you may not even want to engage actually doing video. There's some video that you can do with a great phone. It's got a great camera on your phone, on your pad. And when you want to go larger, that's where you contract with other services. But for these services to really make sense and make cost-effective sense, you need to have some base elements in place. Now, a lot of you may have a store, you run your store all the time, and if you're looking to grow your business, you need to go online. Your local reputation is not going to translate just because you're online. So one of the key things, do you have a logo? And what is your brand story? Do you have a definable brand? If someone were to ask you what's your brand, do you have 5-7 words that describe your brand, that describes the store and why, and its unique, what you call your unique selling proposition, like why you over your competition? And so do you have 5-7 words, or 7, and maybe even up to 10 words that will describe that? And then once you go from there, storytelling is extremely important these days. Even the format for SEO has changed and is very narrative based now. So what narratives do you want to be telling? It's great. I mean, content truly is king. And it's great to share content and information from others. But even when you do that, you want to what they call curate their content, and you need to add your insights. You need to start telling your own story. So sharing pieces of information are great, but all of these should be, this information should be garnered around your own brand story. And this gets you into storytelling. So if you have to partner with a writer, do you know somebody who writes great books? We have great authors. Partner with someone that authored. It doesn't even have to be the techie person. Let's partner with a great storyteller. Who tells great stories? Everyone probably knows playwrights, authors, writers. And again, you go to your marketing people. But I want to make sure when you come to your marketing people, you have a framework for what you want. You need to have this brand story. And once you know the story, get it written, you can translate that story in writing. That story can be translated in video. It can be translated in imaging. So once you know the story and you have the basis for your story, and you keep building off your story, you have characters. Who are the characters in your brand? Who are the characters and who does what? And what happened this day? And what happened that day? And what's exciting? What's going to keep me on edge and making me want to come back to you to learn more? So if you start taking your information and cultivating it within your brand story, because you have a story every day, you're getting up, you're doing this, and there's a why as to why you do certain things. Why do you choose this over that? Because you feel your customers, why don't you choose that? Well, I've heard so many times businesses say, well, our customers, that is not what they like. Our customers, this is what's important to them. Now, and if you share that and indicate that through your brand story and your storytelling, people will feel like, wow, they know me. They understand me. This is the place I want to be. We buy from that which we know. So the better you teach people who you are and make them feel that they know you, allow them to get to know you, because we buy from that which is familiar. So you have to become familiar. And that's the great thing about technology. It allows you to become familiar at much less of a cost. And now once you have that brand story, now you go to your videographer, because you take your short little vids and all, what's great, but you need a few key quality commercials and quality stories. Like, hey, I want to tell my stories. I want to do a series of 3-minute, 5-minute videos. So, you can do actually a 2-hour shoot, 2-3 hour session, and create a whole series and a whole string of various different things that you launch at different times that can take you across anywhere 3 months to a year, depending on how you break it up and how you use them. And that's a wise investment of time and money. So when we speak on strategy, that's what strategy is. what is the best way to engage a tactic in order to grow your business, grow your awareness of your business, because the ultimate goal is you want to make people aware, make people comfortable, you want to bring people in, you want them to look, and then you want them to buy. That's your whole goal and process. So how do you do that strategically with you want the greatest quality for the least amount of money and the least amount of effort, and that's why strategy is so important. So with that, I'm gonna go back to Mr. Lazone, because one of the things that we do have on this list, and I'm going to go right back here to the shared list. The one thing we do have is email marketing, data capture. We talked a little bit about that. Landing pages, mobile marketing, but website, local and location-based marketing. But that starts with the website. This website will communicate all of these other things for you. And so we're going to get back to Mr. Lazone Gray, and I know Shimon does it too, but he has a service, and they offer websites, and what's so great about it, he also teach young people, and he has great young people that do websites. And these websites are great. I'm trying to open you up, Lazone. Are you open? Okay, there you go. So tell us about these great websites that you do that are ideal for these brick and mortar businesses, especially if they're first getting themselves out online.
Well, we've moved a long way since hard coding HTML with a lot of uh, more sophisticated sites. Many times, whoever your web host is probably get a free install of Drupal, Joomla,
Mm-hmm.
WordPress. Personally, I'm trying to move away from websites, but I've also noticed that a lot of significant campaigns are being run off of the WordPress uh, platform. So one of the things, eventually, as they say in sports, when you get too old to play coach, I'm trying to get more off into inciting and instructing young people about building websites with WordPress. They may not become the coders and programmers that I want them to be, but there are developers out there that have a lot of widgets and plugins that are already built, at least to get them to understand the principles. There are Fortune 500 companies that use the WordPress platform, so I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. Uh, there are responsive teams now like there were not years ago. So that's pretty much what we're trying to do, not to take them into understanding Joomla and Drupal, which are used by a lot of universities because of their content-based and content-driven sites. Uh, and beyond just coding, which there's a lot of conversation out there about coding, which is definitely great for app development. But we're dealing with some young people in our communities who really have not been incited to this technology, trying to sort of wean them onto wanting to know more advanced coding and understanding the technologies that go behind what they see. So we're sort of focusing in on uh, WordPress because not only is it a little bit easier to teach, but it's also easier to try to help show a small business owner how to sort of do some of the manipulation on themselves so they don't have to keep paying somebody through the nose just to make maintenance and ongoing uh, changes to their website. If they don't have the time, it also makes it easier for young people to do it. We want to teach them the entrepreneurial skills. You may get paid one amount, which will be larger, construct the website, and then just dip in every now and then just to make some tweaks and different things for the individual business owner. An
Great.
example on WordPress is that they have a plugin where you can make coupons. Well, once you make the coupon, you can click and share it, on your Facebook and Twitter and things of that nature there. So the business may not have time to make the coupon. Hey, for 45 bucks, I'll make the coupon for you and promote it for you on social media. So
Great. Great.
that's trying to transform that. How are these skills translated into dollars in my pocket? And that's really
Mm-hmm.
what the principles we're trying to get young people to understand, especially our small businesses. We don't have big budgets to work with,
Yeah.
and we're not talking about big high production, type of thing, but we have to start somewhere.
Yeah, well, it's a great place. You know, there are things that cost more and there are things that cost less. But the cost, it's to me, it's always about the quality and what's relevant for your needs. So when you clearly understand, what are my needs, where can I start, then the technology definitely can allow you to do a lot more, much more affordably. And as you stated, for options, if you're just getting on the internet, it depends on what type of business, different type of things. But if you're just getting on where you don't have if you don't have a heavy e-commerce, but you're more information focused, you're working to drive foot traffic, grow your database so that you can keep in touch with people, drive them inside your shop. That's where you want to start before you actually build your e-commerce. Because if you do have a clothing store shop, I do recommend that you do build a compatible e-commerce site so people can also shop online. But initially, you may just start, and I do suggest that when people start on the web, just to start in bits and pieces. You want a complete picture, but there's no need to get all the bells and whistles before you really understand how the web works and how it will benefit you. You need to have a clear understanding. So the WordPress sites can be great, and as you said, they're great add-ons, and they're even e-commerce, great e-commerce add-ons. You can definitely buy codes. So you can buy some great designs, and so you can pick out wonderful designs. It says responsive designs, which is where the trend everyone's going. And when you hear responsive, what that means is this is a design in a format that will work on computers, on laptops, on mobile phones, on iPads, on pads, on Blackberries. What it means that they will work across various different devices, the same thing. So you don't have to build all of these different websites. So when people say responsive, that's what's meant by that. And the WordPress sites, and this way, makes it more affordable. You're helping young people as well as getting yourself started. And then they have all of these great additional services, the coupon services, your video broadcasting. You have an opportunity to do that. So Lazone, if they want to engage you, if anyone is interested in learning more, how can they get started with you? Where do they need to go?
Well, probably send them to our Streets University, streetsuniversity.org portal to get in contact with us, because as an agency, I'm really working to flow much of that activity through our class and our graduates, other than just on myself and the other staff, primarily, which helps people getting a job, things of that nature there. Our website for the agency is IBSA-inc.org. But that's just the organization's website. We're really flowing things through the Streets University portal, and just can hit me up via email through there. That's info@streetsuniversity.org, and via phone 913-735-4272.
Okay. So now we're going to go to Shimon, and I would love for you to give us some information, Shimon. So I'm opening up the mic on you, Shimon. Okay. All right, there you go. We can't hear you, Shimon. Well, as you work your way in, Shimon, I just will move on just a little bit. Just keep checking your mic and just say something. This way I know that you're on. I'm going back, and I will go ahead, sir.
Jackie, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Alrighty. All right. That last program we did changed my microphone setting. Anyway, so I want to try to horseback or piggyback, prefer horseback, right off of what Lazone was talking about. Let's say that you have a constrained budget and you want to do a marketing campaign, and you can make a choice. I would suggest that, let's say if you're a moderately savvy or business, get someone that can make you a visually and both in style and in content nice site. But let's say you don't want it, you can get stock photos to supplement your site, and you could differentiate yourself by getting local talent, people who are, let's tap into, utilize the arts locally, get a nice photographer that you know locally, get some people who are looking to become models and actresses or just looking to have fun, and get a diversified look, get some designers to donate clothes, and now you can do a little show, exchange it for photos, maybe augment it with a stipend, and now you can have a uniquely and nice looking original photography on a website at a moderate cost. And then that's another way that you can play with yourself. To just stand out beyond just getting you want to get a site to hold a place. If you don't have a website today, it's like you're not in the yellow pages, like that was said before. You're not in the game. No one knows that you're there because your website's open 24/7. Your business is open when you're awake, or whatever your hours are. And then I would say the next thing that people really need to be cautious, and is listed here. So the third from the bottom is, you might do it on the e-commerce. You might see it on, which means you take a credit card. When I say payment processing, it means you're taking credit cards, debit cards, rewards cards. This is something that our community really omits, and it's one of the things that many businesses lose a ton of money in because it's not well understood. When you take credit cards, when you're taking payment processing, one, it allows you to get more customers. Fewer people walk with cash than they used to, and they don't walk with that much cash because if you lose your debit or credit card, you don't lose your money. You can get it back. If someone steals it and does fraud, you have to go through some hoops, but you can get that information back. Someone steals your money, you're less likely to get your money back. Cash is king, but cash can't easily be replaced when it's stolen. So for convenience, especially if you're in doing a type of business where credit card transactions, debit card transactions are convenient, that's where you want to be. However, you must understand your business. You need to know your NAICS codes. We talked about in the previous discussion, which is your North American Identification Code. Without your NAICS code determines the level of insurance you have, including along with your address and your type of business. It also affects the type of risk in your credit card processing. You need to make sure that you have equipment, no limited or no batch fees, limited or no transaction fees, and that you understand the fee and interest rate for the different types of transactions. And if you're a physical business, it's in your best interest to get things where you can have someone sign the paper, the little receipt. That lowers your fee rate, which it keeps more money in your pocket. Another really good thing to watch out for is these are contracts that have to be read thoroughly. So I wouldn't go into any card processor that just stops by the door. Go get a lawyer or bring him to an incubator or the Small Business Development Center or someone you know or a local university and say, what is this contract saying? Because in credit card processing, if you normally get $5,000 in transactions, you say you own a local bodega and grocery store, you got something in there, and you get about $5,000 a day, and there's a festival, like here in Boston there was the Dominican Day Festival, and then there was a Fisherman Festival on the same day, different areas. And let's say traffic went up and you got $20,000 worth of traffic. Great day for you. You may have gone out of the scope of what your credit card processor, either the one that handles your card or someone in the middle, some middle organization thinks that your business should go, and they're going to say fraud or something's out of the norm, and your money could be frozen for 90 days. You're still going to get your money, but they're collecting interest on your money, and you're not getting your money. And some of them, depending on how ethical they are, may or may not communicate this with you. A lot of people don't catch this. This is the backgrounds in doing your business. The things which means you may not go out of business, but your profitability, your cash flow is going to be severely affected by not understanding these. And you should be comfortable in bringing in attorneys, consultants, accountants, tax people, attending functions yourself, where you can understand this or know who you can ask to understand this, so where you're keeping more money in your pocket. And then we can go as a community and transition from minimum $10 as far as minimum transaction. Whenever I see that in my neighborhood or any neighborhood, or I see it at a gas station, I immediately know that they don't have a good contract with their credit card processing, because they're trying to offset those extra fees and those extra interest rates. They're really fee rates. Well, some people call them interest rates, with having a minimum $5 or $10 or $20, $15 purchase. Because below that, they feel that they're losing money, and they probably are. And that comes from not having good contracts. How does that come into marketing? Marketing, having good contracts in your business processing, having good contracts, and understanding your legal, understanding what tax system you're in, your LLC, your insurance, affects your price. Because now if you have, let's say that two neighbors are next to each other, and let's make a simple store. I wish someone could give me a suggestion on the store, but let's keep them with the bodegas. Two neighborhood stores, neighborhood bodegas, one across the street from each other. And the people could walk to either one, but there's so many people that they can choose from. So they're not really competing with people, right? Well, and they have, one can lower the price, say that they got a bag of chips. And the bag of chips is $1, right? And if you raise it, you can't raise it to $1.25, because the people could walk right across the street. So you can only play with a price, let's say 20 cents. But because you don't understand your contracts, your strategy isn't sound, your tactics and what you selected, and your payroll systems and all these other issues are in the background, you are pushed on your margin. You got to go up there. You're right at the $1.20, and you're barely clearing like a 2% margin. The neighbor across the street understands that, has better contracts, maybe, and is able to go, when you go to $1.20, able to go to $1.10, but they only need 95 cents. So although they have a lower price, and they're general consumers, they have more profitability because more of their money goes in their pocket rather than slipping out. And that's cost or pricing strategy, which is part of marketing, but it's not the sexy part of marketing. You know, it's not the advertising or the websites, but that comes into your website. That comes into, do you go over there and you spend money for a big website or for a small website? Do you go and list yourself on the radio? Do you join the local business association? Is the laws that are changing going to affect you? If they change the bus stop by one stop, will that affect you? And sometimes if you have a lot of stores and a lot of competition, and they move the bus stop half a block, a full block, you could get more or less customers because of, there's a lot of competition and availability. And we as business owners need to start looking at the inner workings of our business and seeing how all this stuff comes across on the website. Because every time, or in your social media and your narrative, as Jacqueline was saying, These things, although they don't overtly and like simply come across in your narrative, but people can tell. You're talking to your customers in your price. You're talking to customers in the layout of your store, in your lighting, and how you interact with them. And unless you're a very benevolent and kind person, which hopefully you are, if you are stressed about your business because you're pressed on the margin, you may be stressing your employees, and likely your employees are interacting, and yourself are interacting in a less positive way with your consumers or any of your other stakeholders like the community. And that affects maybe not your money today, but it affects your money in the long run. And and it also affects your health and well-being. You might be making money, but you're there until midnight at night because you can't sleep because you're worried about that. And I know this firsthand because as a business consultant, I do management, sustainability, change management, marketing strategy, that fun stuff. You have many business owners that are out late at night, way after the stores close, running their numbers, worried about inventory coming in the next day. Are they going to make payroll? They come home, they bring that stress home, so now they have a home life dynamic that's stressing them out. And these are critical to get under control if we take the time and get these fundamental things put in place. Then you could do all the innovative stuff you want. You could be very, very simple, keep it simple, but you handle the fundamentals. You bring it, you get comfortable, you engage yourself. There's a lot of free help to get you comfortable with what questions you want to ask. And then you bring in, at the times that you feel that you're ready, you bring in your tax person, you bring in your attorney when it's necessary, you bring in a consultant, you bring in the vendor that you want to, and now you're able to make sound decisions that help your company in the long term. And as you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking about this, I would encourage, even if you haven't started your business and it's just an idea and it hasn't even, the pen hasn't started writing, as you're listening to Jacqueline, Lazone, and I speaking to others, go out there in your community, and there ought to be like a nearby university, a nearby community college, maybe the Small Business Development Center itself, SCORE, a variety of other ones that are out there depending where you live in the country. And attend these workshops. They're like either free, $10, $25. Sometimes they're $50 if you're talking about import export. They're very rarely more than that. And you get comfortable, so you could decide if you want to go to an association that's $300, $500 plus, because you've made the determination that I think that my stakeholders are there, and you start making more educated things, and even if things don't work out the way you plan, it helps you go next step left or step. If you were walking down a path and there were thorns in the center of the path, you have a choice to go to the left or the right. But if you're walking down at night or you're blindfolded and you run into the thorns, you don't know if you to go left or right. You just know you're stuck. It's time for us as a community, as business owners, as people that support business owners, to take off the blinders and the blindfolds, get the starriness out of our eyes, and say, oh, the thorns in our path. Do I want to go left or do I want to go right?
Okay, well, thank you. That is so great, and that is such relevant information. Planning is so key. And if a lot of times you want to know what does a consultant do, that's one of the main things that a consultant is going to do for you. The consultant is going to help you plan. The consultant is going to help you see the big picture. They're going to ask you a lot of questions that may not seem relevant. But what they're going to do as a consultant is, what can we do to look at all your existing resources, your goals, everything that you have, and see how can we best leverage what you have to get there. And that's the whole purpose of the technology. Technology will allow you to do it less expensively, but or less expensive, okay. But without a plan, that can be very expensive. It can be very taxing on your time, your energy, and he said this even takes a physical toll. So you want to plan. You want to take an overall look. So we're bringing you today some just different points and different things. And Franne McNeal, she wasn't able to make it back over on this side, but she's with us earlier. And I will post everyone's website. And you want to make sure that you do. I'm going to put in an Urban Tech Fair, that you go to urbantechfair.org and that you join our, sure, and you get on our email list so you can stay updated. And this way, when you stay updated, you can get information. When you get our e-blast, you can immediately click onto the people, find out more about them. As Shimon was stating, you know, you check the credibility, credentials, and style of any consultant you're consulting with, and speak with them. Just make sure consultants and coaches, a lot of times they call it coaching now, it can be very personal, so you have to be comfortable with their style for you, but you need to just add that to your mix, because the consultant is going to help you develop the overall plan. And see, you might need 100 things, but you may only need, for right now, to get, you have a certain overall goal. In order to get there, there are certain things that need to happen first, and the consultant will help you see that. So you may need 100 things you may need to do, and these other things may all be good, but before you can get there, you might need to do these things. And so these 4 things may need to happen first, and they only cost so much. So that's where your focus goes, and once you implement that, you will see some level of growth and change, and that can help spur you on to the next level. But I did want to be able to give you some things, because we have a whole variety of people watching and waiting. You're at different places. But if you have a brick and mortar and you're open, I mean, you have a running business. So one of your key things, of course, you need foot traffic. I need people at least coming in here and looking, so then I can convince them to the sale. So how do I increase my foot traffic? And that was one of the important things that Shimon told you, again, looking at your whole environment. If you're not keeping in touch, and if you are in a local area that is accessible by public transportation, yes, the change of public transportation is going to change the amount of foot traffic, especially if it becomes away from you. Well, because if I get off a block away, and I got to walk back another block, which may be out of my way, in order to get to you, chances are I'm not going to do it. And so now you're impacted. A lot of times in our urban areas, there's a whole lot of gentrification and change going on. They're ripping up streets, trolley. I've seen entire businesses go. And then, of course, they went and purchased all of those businesses because they could not sustain the time it took for the change, while they were totally ripping up tracks in the L. And they were most totally dependent upon local traffic. But it was not just public transportation, because no one could park there. I actually worked in an art gallery, and they were redoing the tracks, and boom, 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 all of these. I mean, the sound alone from the jacks hammering made it offensive to even be around. We literally was just closing up shop. And some of those businesses lasted, but a couple of them could not last that change. And then the whole area, the businesses just could not take it, because they took a long time to do it. I mean, I think it was purposeful, because something that was supposed to be just 1 month, 3 months, turned almost into 2 years, which shut down all of those businesses. They were not able to survive. So these things are very important, that you need to understand the atmosphere. Is renting or owning, which one is better? Can I get ownership? Is this area marked for gentrification? If it is, you do know the value of your place is going to start skyrocketing, and rents are going to go up. Are you going to be able to afford that? For how long? So again, that's all important for you to understand the atmosphere that's going on around. So you need to be part of your community, not just that local community, but are you part of the political community? Do you know who your representatives are? All of those different things you want to make sure that you know and understand and engage. And those are things that you can engage and get to know and part of your process that really doesn't cost much. But again, this is all about strategy. So, but in that, you want to make sure that you have your Google Plus business page. Well, at least if you start there, then you can go to, hi Jeffrey, Jeffrey's going to call, and you do your Google Plus business page. Then you go on to Yahoo and Bing. Make sure you have business pages there. Make sure you verify those listings. Verified listings compared to unverified listing, it shows if you are not a verified listing. So you want to breed confidence, make sure you verify your listing. And then from there, you need make sure you have to have a website. So if you don't have a website, make sure you get a website. Even though that business page gives a great snapshot, people should be able to go from that business page to your website to get more. Any opportunities to shop. And any way you can connect online with offline and drive offline, online, or both. Online, you can put when you come in. Like if you shop right now online, I may give you a 5% discount. But since the core of my money is in the shop, but if you download this coupon, bring it into the store, you get a 10%. If you share it with somebody and they bring in a coupon that they receive from you, and you're going to be able to track it so that to tell, then you'll get another 15% discount off your next shopping experience. You put incentives, different things that you can add in to drive people online, offline, and offline, online. Again, you want to make sure you use your point of sales to grow your database. So not just have people come in and out and leave, that you can't follow up with them again. What can you do to get them to sign your email list? And then your email list, you're not just asking for emails, you're asking for addresses, because mailing is still good. You want to put in votes of confidence, you mail out on a consistent basis. Now, not every month, maybe once every quarter is probably good. If you can afford a postcard mailing once a quarter, that's good. And in between, you're hitting them with email. Or if you can do door-to-door flyer distribution, whichever becomes more cost-effective. Look at partnering. The local supermarket, they're sending us, can I participate in those send-outs? And at what cost can I participate? Well, look at driving online, offline, and offline, online. And when you make that marriage, you will definitely grow your business and opportunities, because people go online to search, but there's still people that love that hands-on, in-store, one-on-one human interaction and process. And what I'm letting you know so significant, online businesses that were solely online are starting to get to obtain a brick-and-mortar location. They may not be open up chains, but at least one brick-and-mortar location, whether it's a showroom, a place for people to come in and interact. They're establishing at least one brick-and-mortar location. So having a brick-and-mortar is not passe. It's very good. But to grow your business and to be sustainable, you need an online presence, and you need to develop strategies to drive online people offline, and to connect with your offline people online. This way you keep a connection. Don't just allow people to come in your store and leave and never know how you're going to follow up with them.
Hey, Jackie, can I hop on that?
Yes.
All right. So I had the Boston Green Fest this weekend, right? It's in Boston. It's a music, art, and environmental green awareness festival for over 3 days. Now we have small vendors and large vendors. And if you look at large vendors, we're talking, we had Geico there, Suncrest, BMW, Zipcar, and a few others. The larger companies are not there at these festivals to make a sale. The smaller organizations, well, they need revenue. They're there to make a sale. The larger companies know, if I can get you where you are at, the things that you care about, you're likely to see me again. So they'll touch you at the festival, and then you'll maybe go to your college and they'll touch you at your kid's college, and you'll see the commercial. You might come around and see the banner ad, because they know we're so barraged with information. You need to see something 7 to 21 times. If it's a billboard, it's 21 times. If something more personal, it's around 7 before you really recognize it. Remember, you ever walk down the street and go, "Oh shoot, I didn't know that was there." When I get there, that's because you can't look at everything. Your mind is blocking a lot of that stuff out. 721 times. So if you're sometimes your marketing, your plan might not bring $1 immediately in, but it might be bringing that eyes where someone's aware of it, and when they see it again, when they walk down your physical store, and they say, "Oh wow, that's there," they probably walk by your store numerous times, or they've seen something in your store that really appeals to them, and they walk in. And we shouldn't ignore the value of that, because those types of impressions, there are huge companies that make millions of dollars are not even selling sales. Their whole thing is to drive impressions, just eyes on product. So if you take that initiative of getting eyes on product, because if you know how many people need to see your product, need to see your business before they do business with you. So let's say you're the local bodega and you need 30 people getting off the bus before and only one of those 30 would come in the bus, then you know that you need to be at prime times, when the bus increases, doing something to drive those people in, and then you can make determinations. So that was just my point on that. Look at those impressions and drive traffic into your business. Find out where your people are. Sometimes your customers aren't in typical places, and they could be a customer 3 blocks over that would love your product and love your business, but they don't know where you are. They don't know who you are. You need to see where they're seeing it and bring them into your establishment, and make sure they have a good experience. And if they don't have a good experience in your establishment, talk to them. Apologize and say, "Hey, I'm sorry. What happened?" And they'll talk to you. And if you show that you respect them as a customer, even if they had a bad experience, they'll come back, or at least they'll say, or at least they won't talk bad about you.
Yeah. Yes, and that's important. Your reputation, you want people to say good things, because word of mouth, that's the goal. Your goal is always to get to word of mouth, for someone to say something good and tell their friend, who would tell their friend. That's the goal of marketing, is to get people talking to their friends, because again, we listen to, we respect, we respond to that which we know, and that's why those impressions are so important, as Shimon was talking about. And when he talked about opportunity where people are, and again, this is the way you drive on and offline traffic. Remember, mobile is where everyone is, and mobile is where everyone is going. They're doing more and more over mobile. So even if you have people on the bus, these are people that take public transportation. They're on their phones. But what are they surrounded by on a bus? All on the bus are signs. And at some point in time during your process, you're going to look up and read those signs. And it only takes you about 5 minutes or less to read every sign on the bus, but you take them in. They're very much great to invest in. If those people look up there, they see a sign about your business with a website or a link or a code. If they text this to get that, and then you have a captive audience sitting on a bus, you are going to get traffic. And this is how we're talking about leveraging technology. You know, these people have phones on the bus. Over 60% of those people are going to have a smartphone or a pad. Over 60% of those people. Another thing, he was saying, know where they are. On trains, if you are near a train station and the high-speed lines or the Amtrak, if those stations are near you. Free papers. Are you near a place where free papers can be picked up? we have a paper here in Philadelphia called the Metro, and they're in cities all over. But the Metro specifically delivers on public transportation for free. People, you can get your Metro paper for free at bus stops and terminals and on your train. So before you go on a train, you pick up your Metro, you read it, you ride, and it's a quick read. But if you want to know a place to advertise, where do I advertise? That's the place you advertise. And then how do I capture? You can have a great sale and all, but how does a person respond to that sale? Don't allow that sale. The only way they can respond is to come into the store, because they may not know you, but what if they can check you out first by checking out your website? What if they text you something and they can get a coupon? It increases the likelihood of them actually coming into the store or them visiting you. Give them another option. And that is why the online is so important, and leveraging that technology. When Foursquare, that's one of the more popular location-based places. And then you can check in, and that's what everyone does. They check in. So you go to, say, if you say Foursquare, and check in at Foursquare on these days and these times, and you can get this. And you put that in the ad, and you run that ad 2 to 4 weeks in a local newspaper, or newspaper that's read heavily, a free distributed newspaper, you will see a response. You will see a great response, and people will start using it, and you've opened yourself up to new traffic. Again, it's a way to make yourself stand out amongst other ads, because even when you're advertising, you're in shared space, and you have to find a way to stand out. So when we talk about leveraging technology, these are just some type of ideas. We're just giving you overviews. So we want you to follow up. So your first way of following up is to join the Urban Tech Fair. Leave us a comment and say, oh, wow. And you can leave a question. I checked out this webinar, the B2B. It was great. I'm looking for more info. Anyone that comes in, we do have the shared document, which we will be updating with information, so you can go start implementing some things. Anything you implement, let us know. Let us know how it happened. The next thing we definitely want you to do is to follow up with us. So Lazone, and they build you the website. I have an online store. I'm a marketing strategist. I can consult with you. You can go to my store and pick up a lot of services. So say if you do want that website, well, you can go to us and buy and get a WordPress hosting. So now because you need a hosted site. The site needs to be hosted. It can't just be hosted on WordPress if you're really building a site for your business. You want a WordPress hosted. So you can get the hosting through us and then say, well, I have the hosting, and have Lazone and them build it. If you feel you're good and you want to build your own site, we have the opportunity for you to build your own site if you feel like you can handle that. Or if you feel you can do cPanel hosting and you are good at it and you have coding, then you can get your own cPanel hosting through us and build yourself. Or again, and this is something I just recommend because I've seen so many changes and losses. I do recommend to a lot of my small businesses to purchase your own hosting and then go get a professional to build your website. Because it just makes a world of difference. But when I say get your own hosting, so that you're not ever held hostage by other circumstances. Once you get someone, you pay them, they build it, and like Lazone say, people may come back to do upgrades, changes, but you should have someone built it in a way that you can keep up your content. You can change, this is happening this week, that's happening this week. You can change that. Design is a whole different thing. It takes a whole new skill for design. And you may have to go back periodically to have design updated. Or if you want something added on, like say if you just start with your site and then later on you say you may want to build out your e-commerce, that takes specialized help. You do want to get a professional to help you to build your e-commerce site, because it's just not about building it. Your back end on your e-commerce is extremely important. That back end support, whether or not it's up, you don't want over the holiday times when you're going to get increased traffic in your store, you don't want your site crashing because your back end is not built appropriately and is not ready to handle this big onslaught of traffic that you're going to get and buying that happens during the holiday season. So these things are important, but they're like, with your strategy, there are ways that you can decrease your costs. So I'm going to put in a link. It's called Do Business Online Store. It's Do Business Online Store .TaylorAdamsMarketing.com. And so this way you can go if you need a website, if you want a security, whatever you need, if you want just the hosting. Again, we have professionals, Shimon, Lazone. I can help you find someone. I help you build your strategy for your website, because even for the designer, you need a strategy. So I'm going to help you get a great strategy and plan. I'm not a designer, but I can connect you with a designer, which may be Lazone or maybe Shimon, or I use Rebecca Jenkins. I have different people I use depending on whatever works best for you and your needs. I'll help you build a plan, and then we're going to get a designer. So I do suggest a professional designer unless you really are good at that. Because a designer that's professional, they also think about marketing. You heard when Lazone was speaking, he took you not just the website, but he said, what if you need this coupon? We'll help incorporate a coupon, because you do need coupons. There's no way you're in business selling any kind of product, even services. Coupons, everybody wants to save money. A coupon will grab attention every time. So he's thinking about the marketing. It's not just having a website. A website means nothing if it doesn't fulfill your marketing plan. It's part of your marketing plan. It's part of your business, and it's part of your marketing plan. It is there to help facilitate sales. So you need to structure it and have a plan for building your site to help facilitate your sales. So that's about all I have for now, because we did great. We went over some great things. We gave you a great overview. But to move forward, definitely engage us. And as a brick and mortar, we have a lot of great opportunities for you. We have professionals on every realm. So if you are a Fortune 500 company and you need a website built, and you have this IT, and you need a server, and you need all bells and whistles and apps and all of those things built, we have the people who can handle that. Or if you are a little single store brick and mortar and you're just getting started, we can handle that. So that's the urbantechfair.org. We provide access to a great community of talent, and that's our job here, to showcase what's possible. All salons, barbershops, if you know salons and barbershops, please ask them to contact urbantechfair.org. We are building up a distribution network. We want to support our salons and barbershops, and we want to partner with them in reaching the community. And we want our salons and barbershops to be the center. You are the center of the community. You have a church, you have salons, and you have barbershops. These are central businesses within our community that have always been a place where people come, get personal, share, and they have longevity. So we want to do a partnership with our salons and barbershops, and we want to cross-promote through our salons and barbershops our local businesses, our local fashion stores, specials. We want to partner with our salons and barbershops in helping us get to the everyday consumer and our local community. So please, just tell them to join at urbantechfair.org at the Jacqueline Taylor-Adams. We're going to put up a special forum just for the salons and barbershops, so we can begin building a network and advertising everyone and showcasing each other. And that's the same for you. So please join us at www.urbantechfair.org. Click on join and fill out the sheet, and we will stay in touch. You want to call, the number is 1-877-552-7012. I'm Jacqueline Taylor-Adams. My extension is 1111. If you don't remember the extension, no problem. I'll put it in the chat. But also, the message will give you everyone's extension. But if you don't want to hear that message, just press 1111 for me. For Jim Newsom, he's the executive producer and founder. Jim, you press 1010. And there are other mailboxes on there. So you can just contact us anytime with any questions that you have, and we will help you out. So as we close out, that's my closing statement, and I'm sticking to it. And so I'm going to have Lazone say a closing statement, and then we're going to close out with you, Shimon. But before I go to Lazone, I'm going to let Jeffrey say hi. Jeffrey is our, you know how you have a groupie? He's our groupie. He is our groupie. Whatever video broadcasting platform we are, whatever one we on, whether it was Freecast, Big Marker, Google, that's Jeffrey. So we just let him shout out.
You must be loyal, because that's
howdy doody, Jeff, okay? Alrighty, Jeffrey, go ahead. Give us a howdy doody. Unmute yourself. Alrighty, Jeffrey, you gonna give us a howdy doody? Alrighty, Jeffrey, this is your time. We're closing out. You've been asking me all week to get on the Google Hangout for 2 weeks now. Well, I guess Jeffrey's busy right now. So we're going to go to Lazone. All right, Lazone.
Yes.
Hey, you going to give us a closeout?
Oh, yes. I think it was just a great show, and I'm glad that you have this platform here where we can reach a larger audience and try to drop some knowledge and some insight on them. And we have a lot of talent that is building up. Technology is great. You know, we have known each other since the Lee Green days, and now technology is so far here today, and we're bringing on, I'm meeting brothers like Shimon and Franne and Bonnie, you know, and finding all this other talent. People think that you're out there by yourself. You're not. And the same with our businesses who don't have the knowledge and the know-how. You're not out there by yourself. Come on in out the rain. and that's my story, and I'm going to stick to it.
All right. Okay, Shimon, you going to close us out?
All right. Let me turn my video back on. Oh. Okay. Hey, everybody. Well, I'm Shimon of Saif Consultancy, and like similar to Jackie, but we're a little bit different. I do strategy, pricing strategy, and I like to talk about those things because I'm concerned, and we as Urban Tech Fair are concerned about the overall community, your business. Myself, it's how I do. I'm also a consultant, and I worry about business owners and their families and their employees and their other stakeholders, even if you're a policy person. And if you're staying up late at night worried about your business, because if you are worried about, it's something you care about. It puts food on the table for your family and something that you spent all that time to grow. Maybe you got it from your grandparents. Maybe it was an idea that you had on a piece of paper at a coffee shop. Either way, it's your baby. And we're like, you got to think of consultants. Of you want to make sure you find the right one and one that cares about your baby and fits your personality, but can push you. You don't want a yes man, because anybody can be like, "That's a good job, Spike. Really good job, Spike." That's not very helpful to you. You want someone that's going to be attentive to you and push you and make both of you accountable for the goal that you set. I really want people to support the Urban Tech Fair. There are a lot of organizations that are working around nationally, but Jim and Jackie has really put together an organization bringing together people like Lazone, and I remember meeting Mike Green, and for me, that was phenomenal meeting someone like Mike Green, a more seasoned person in the space that I felt alone in. I've been the only brown person at those strategy meetings talking about where they're going to put the new train, which is going to affect somebody's business, and you're wondering where are the others. The others are right here in the Urban Tech Fair. Come work with us. Let's do business together so we can have the financial means to have political power. We got to tie money, our mouth, and our votes together. If the three are apart, we're going to be played. But when we put our money, our votes, and our policies together with a sense of community, that's sustainability, that's growing Black and Latino and urban communities right now. I guess I should have said something about my business. So I do strategy, marketing, and change management and sustainability. You know, if you want me, reach out to SafeConsultancy.com. I'm the only Shimon Warden, other than my son, in America. So I'm on LinkedIn, Shimon at SafeConsultancy.com. Reach out to Jackie. If Jackie, you reach out for Jackie, reach out for the Urban Tech Fair, you're going to find me. If you forget about where we're from, you want one of these innovative people, call us up and we'll match you up with whomever you need. And that's what I got to say for right now. I had a great time. I'm glad that this one worked.
Yeah, we got to make sure we get a copy of this to Teresa. Okay, so I want to say thank you for everyone for coming, and Jeff is back in, so we're going to let him shout us out. Okay, Jeffrey, we said you got to give us a howdy doody, Jeff.
Hey.
Come on, Jeff, give us a howdy doody. Okay, that's all you got to say? All right,
This is how you do.
We're going to say good night.
Well,
Okay, there you go. Howdy do. Jeffrey said howdy do, y'all. So
sorry,
we're going to say good
back,
night. Oh, okay. Well, we're going to say good night and thank you everyone for tuning in. Again, go to www.urbantechfair.org and we are going to share those notes. So make sure if you want to share those notes, please send us your Gmail. And I'll put in info, I-N-F-O, at urbantechfair.org and say notes. And we'll have those. Sweet, everyone. Peace out. And I hope I do not lose the chat. Yeah, and all of us you can find on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a great place. When he was talking about checking credentials for your LinkedIn is a great place to go to find professional people, and it's a great place to list yourself as a professional. It sets up more as a resume, so you can look more into skills. And you have the opportunity. And Lazone and Shimon, if you are having, please make sure that you're starting to post your projects. So let people see some of the projects you've been working on. So some of those projects and case studies, you post them up on your LinkedIn profile. And this way you can see the type of work that everyone does. All right. So have a great week. Peace.